Running out of space at home? These Japanese organization products will change everything. Today we're counting down 15 unique space-saving products on Amazon, inspired by Japanese minimalism, that maximize every inch, keep every room clutter-free, and make daily life effortlessly simple. From the entryway to the kitchen to the bathroom, these picks are practical, beautiful, and surprisingly affordable. Stick around till the end. You won't believe some of these space-saving solutions. All links are in the description. Product 1. Elevated microwave stand with drawer and retractable shelf. We start in the kitchen with the product that single-handedly solves the most common counter problem in any home, the microwave. It sits on the counter. It claims roughly 2 square feet of your most valuable surface, and everything else arranges itself around it. The toaster beside it, the coffee maker beside that, the clutter that accumulates in the shadow of appliances that claim territory and never let go. In Japan, counter surfaces are treated as active space, not storage. The principle is called Countaya no Zero. The counter exists for preparation, not for housing objects that could live somewhere else. This elevated microwave stand changes the equation entirely. It lifts the microwave off the counter and onto a dedicated steel structure, creating a pull-out drawer beneath it for utensils or spice packets, and a retractable shelf on the side for a cutting board or additional prep space. The counter under the microwave becomes usable again. The drawer organizes the category that usually migrates to a countertop container. The retractable shelf appears when you need it and disappears when you don't. One product, 3 solved problems. Counter cleared. We used to cook around the microwave. Now we cook beside it, on a surface that's actually clear. Product 2. Entryway bench with lift-top storage and 2 cushioned seats. This one is deeply Japanese, and the moment I found it, I understood why. In Japan, the genkan, the entry threshold, is the most intentional space in the home. It is where the outside world stops and the home begins. Shoes come off, bags are placed. The transition is deliberate. The entry bench with lift-top storage and cushioned seats is the Western product that comes closest to capturing this philosophy. It solves 3 problems that every entryway has, and that most Western homes solve with 3 separate pieces of furniture. First, a place to sit while putting shoes on or off. Second, storage for the shoes themselves, hidden inside the bench under the seats. Third, a surface for bags and coats, handled by the bench top itself. 2 cushioned seats lift independently to reveal 3 internal compartments: shoes, seasonal items, cleaning supplies for the door area. Whatever the entryway needs to hide, it hides here. Closed, the bench looks like furniture. Open, it functions like a closet. The Japanese genkan keeps the entry clear because everything that arrives at the door has a designated place. This bench is that designated place, for the shoes, for the body that's removing them, and for whatever else transitions through that threshold every day. We used to have a pile of shoes at the door, and a chair no one sat on, and bags on the floor. This replaced all 3. Product 3. Adjustable pan and lid organizer with 11 dividers. Open the cabinet where your pots and pans live. What you see is almost certainly a stack. Lids on top of lids. Pans wedged behind other pans. The thing you need always behind the thing you don't. This is what Japanese kitchen design calls kasanari no mondai, the stacking problem. Objects stacked on top of each other are objects that require removing everything above to reach anything below. The cabinet becomes an excavation site rather than a storage system. The adjustable pan and lid organizer with 11 dividers solves this at the structural level. Pans, baking sheets, cutting boards, and lids stand vertically, like books on a shelf, each in its own slot. The dividers adjust to fit any width. Nothing sits on top of anything else. You see everything, you reach anything in one motion. It installs under the cabinet in seconds with no tools. It adjusts without tools. And the difference between a cabinet where everything is stacked and a cabinet where everything stands upright is the difference between a drawer you dread opening and one you actually use. In Japan, vertical storage is not an aesthetic preference. It is a functional principle, because in 51 square meters, a cabinet that requires excavation is a cabinet that has failed. Quick question: how many of you have a junk drawer at home? Not a drawer with organized things, an actual junk drawer, where things go and don't come out. Leave a comment and keep watching, because Product 7 is specifically designed for the people whose answer is yes. Product 4, slim rolling cart for the refrigerator gap. There is a gap in your kitchen that has been empty since you moved in, between the refrigerator and the wall, between the refrigerator and the cabinet. Somewhere between 3 and 8 inches of vertical space that holds nothing except a feeling of wasted potential. In Japan, that gap is storage. The slim rolling cart, 5 inches wide, 4 tiers, steel construction, locking wheels, transforms that gap into a vertical pantry. Spice bottles on the top tier, oils and vinegars on the second, canned goods on the third, baking supplies on the fourth. The cart rolls out when you need what's on it. It rolls back in and disappears when you don't. The gap becomes invisible, not because it was closed, but because it was used. Japanese homes consistently demonstrate that the problem is never too little space. It is too little awareness of the space that exists. The gap beside your refrigerator has been there since the day you moved in. This cart is what finally goes in it. Product 5, hair tool, wall organizer for blow dryer, flat iron, and curling wand. The bathroom counter holds more objects than any other surface in the home relative to its size, and the majority of those objects are there because they have nowhere else to go. The hair tool organizer solves the category that produces the most bathroom counter chaos: the blow dryer, the flat iron, the curling wand, heavy hot cable-laden tools that don't stack, don't store cleanly in drawers, and are used daily enough that putting them away completely feels impractical. This wall-mounted organizer holds all 3 tools vertically in individual slots, with the cables managed separately beneath. The tools hang ready to use. The counter beneath them is clear. Japanese bathroom philosophy applies seitan, orderliness, to every object in the space. A designated location, accessible without moving anything else, returned automatically after use. The hair tool organizer gives the blow dryer, the flat iron, and the curling iron each a designated location. Not a drawer, not a cabinet, not the counter. A specific spot on the wall, at the right height, accessible in one motion. The counter clears itself when every object has a home that isn't the counter. Product 6, motion sensor. Trash can with automatic lid and bag sealing system. The trash can is one of the most underdesigned objects in most Western homes. It is a bin. It sits on the floor. The bag hangs over the rim. You press a pedal or lift a lid. That is the sum of the design consideration most trash cans received. Japanese product design treats the trash can differently, as an object that should require 0 physical interaction, 0 visual noise, and 0 manual effort beyond placing something in it. This motion sensor trash can opens automatically as your hand approaches. No touch, no pedal, no lid to lift with a wrist full of vegetable peels. The rechargeable design means no batteries to replace. And the one-pull bag sealing system cinches the bag closed with one motion when it's full. No tying, no leaking, no, the bag is too small for the bin problem. The Japanese principle at work here is masatsu no sakugan, the reduction of friction. Every moment of friction in a daily task is a moment of unnecessary resistance. The trash can that requires no touch, no pedal, and no bag-tying ritual is a trash can that has reduced its friction to nearly 0. We used to have a pedal trash can. We touched the pedal with our foot after cooking and thought nothing of it. This is better. It is noticeably, measurably better, and once you have it, going back feels like regression. Product 7, Oversinked dish drying rack, 2-tier adjustable stainless steel. The dish rack that sits beside the sink is one of the great space thieves of the Western kitchen. It occupies counter space permanently, not just when it's full of dishes, but always because it lives there, waiting. In Japan, the concept of intentional empty space, extends to the kitchen counter. Every object on the counter should earn its position through daily use. The dish rack earns that position, but it can earn it differently. The oversinked dish drying rack mounts above the sink, not beside it. 2 adjustable tiers span the width of the sink itself. The space that is already dedicated to water, already equipped to drain, already the right place for wet things. The counter beside the sink becomes free. It holds plates, glasses, cutting boards, utensils, and bowls across 2 tiers. The water drips directly into the sink below. The counter it used to occupy is now clear. The 2 tiers adjust to accommodate different item heights. The stainless steel doesn't rust or retain odors. And the space it creates, the full counter beside the sink, returned to its rightful function as a prep surface, is a transformation that happens the moment it's installed. Counter space is the most valuable real estate in any kitchen. The dish rack was on it. Now it isn't. We're halfway through. I want to ask you something. Which room in your home right now has the most wasted space? The space that holds nothing, stores nothing, and solves nothing, but exists in every home? Tell me in the comments. And while you're thinking, Product 8 is for the room most of you just named. Product 8. Wall-mounted plastic bag dispenser. Every kitchen has one. The bag of bags. The plastic bag that holds other plastic bags, somewhere in a drawer or shoved under the sink, growing indefinitely, impossible to organize, collapsing every time it's opened. Japan solved this problem with a product so simple, it is almost embarrassing that it isn't standard in every kitchen. The wall-mounted plastic bag dispenser mounts on the inside of a cabinet door or directly on the wall. Bags go in through the top opening. Bags come out one at a time through the bottom opening. The bag of bags ceases to exist as a concept. The design principles are pure Japanese utility, kantan and jitsuyo, simplicity and practicality. There is no mechanism, no electricity, no complexity, a tube with 2 openings that organizes the single most chaotic category in most kitchen drawers. It holds grocery bags, produce bags, garbage bags, and roll bags. It mounts without tools. It costs almost nothing. And it eliminates one of the most persistent forms of kitchen chaos with an object that is, essentially, a box with holes. The best organization products are not clever. They are honest. They see one problem clearly and solve it completely. This sees the bag problem clearly. Product 9. 24-piece. Airtight food storage container set for the pantry. The pantry in most Western homes is organized by container. The original packaging the food came in, cereal in the cereal box, rice in the rice bag, pasta in the pasta box, flour in the flour bag. Each package is a different height, a different width, a different shape. The shelf becomes a puzzle with no solution. Items hide behind other items. Things expire before they're used because they couldn't be seen. Japanese pantry philosophy applies toitsu, uniformity, to food storage. When every container is the same shape, every shelf becomes navigable. Labels face forward. Heights are consistent. The pantry becomes readable. You open it and immediately see what you have and what you're running low on. The 24-piece airtight container set brings uniformity to every pantry shelf. All containers are BPA-free, airtight sealed, and stackable. They come in 3 sizes that nest with each other. The labels are included. The transformation from original packaging to uniform containers is one of the most visible organization changes you can make in any home, because it changes not just the function of the pantry, but the appearance. A pantry that looks organized feels different to use. You reach for things more confidently. You waste less. You cook more. Product 10. Slim 3-tier bathroom rolling cabinet. No installation required. The bathroom gap problem is identical to the kitchen gap problem, and the solution follows the same logic. The narrow space beside the toilet, beside the vanity, between the door and the wall. In most Western bathrooms, these gaps hold nothing. In Japanese bathrooms, they hold everything. The slim 3-tier rolling cabinet, no installation required, rolls on casters, fits into any bathroom gap wider than a standard cabinet width. Toilet paper on one tier, cleaning supplies on another, towels or skincare on the third. The top surface becomes a shelf. Tsukima Katsuyo, gap utilization, is the Japanese principle that no vertical space goes unused. The gap is not a design flaw. It is an opportunity that most homes haven't yet addressed. The rolling design means the cabinet can be pulled out for access and pushed back in. No installation means no commitment. It can move to a different gap, a different room, a different home. It is a storage solution that adapts rather than one that demands the home adapt to it. The bathroom gap has been there since the bathroom was built. This is what finally goes in it. Product 11. Magnetic key rack with tray and 6 hooks. Keys have one of the highest daily friction costs of any object in the home. Not because they are numerous or heavy, but because their location is perpetually uncertain. Every morning that begins with "Where are my keys?" is a morning that began with a system failure. And the system failure is not the person. It is the absence of a designated location with enough friction reduction to actually be used consistently. The magnetic key rack solves this with 2 mechanisms working together. The 6 hooks provide designated spots for multiple sets of keys, each with a specific position, not a shared pile. The magnetic backing means a keychain can be attached with one motion and detached with one motion. No aiming for a hook, no loop the ring. Contact and release. The tray below catches cards, coins, sunglasses, the secondary category of objects that accumulates at the door alongside keys. It mounts on the wall beside the door or directly on the refrigerator. 2 mounting options, no commitment to either. In Japan, the Genkan entry system works because every object that arrives at the door has a designated place. The key rack is the most essential piece of that system, because the key is the first object every person touches when they leave, and the last when they return. Make that object's home unmissable, make it magnetic, make it work. Product 12. Wall-mounted bamboo coat rack with shelf and 5 double hooks. The entryway coat rack is one of the oldest organization products in any home, and one of the most consistently underdesigned. Most coat racks are poles with hooks. They hold coats, and then they hold bags draped over coats, scarves draped over bags, and whatever was carried through the door hung on the nearest available surface until the rack becomes a pile suspended at shoulder height. The wall-mounted bamboo coat rack with integrated shelf solves this through structure. 5 double hooks, 10 total positions, provide specific spots for coats and bags without the overlap that makes a single hook become a pile. The shelf above holds hats, keys, mail, or the items that need to live at the door but don't hang. Bamboo is the material choice that makes this specifically Japanese in spirit. Chikurin no chie, the wisdom of bamboo, is the principle that the most useful materials are those that grow fast, waste nothing, and serve multiple purposes. Bamboo is lighter than steel, harder than most woods, naturally resistant to moisture, and visually warm in any space. The double hook design doubles the capacity without doubling the wall space. The shelf extends the function upward rather than outward. The entryway gets everything it needs from one wall-mounted piece. 3 more products, and I saved some of the most surprising for last. Tell me in the comments which of these 12 you've already added to cart and which one you didn't expect to need until you saw it. Let's finish strong. Product 13. Collapsible laundry basket with reinforced handles. 2-pack, The laundry basket is one of those objects that exists in every home and is almost never designed well. It is large when empty, occupying floor space in the bedroom or bathroom for the majority of the week when it has nothing in it. It is heavy when full, requiring both hands and an awkward grip to carry. And it goes nowhere between uses except wherever it was last set down. The collapsible laundry basket solves the empty problem first. When not in use, it folds completely flat, standing vertically against a wall or sliding under a bed, occupying a fraction of the space it would as a rigid basket. When it's time for laundry, it opens in seconds into a 60-liter basket with reinforced handles and vegan leather accents designed for actual carrying weight, not the decorative handles on most fabric hampers that strain at 10 pounds of wet towels. 2 baskets in the set means one for darks and one for lights. The sorting system that makes laundry day faster without requiring a second permanent basket taking up floor space. Japanese laundry culture treats the laundry basket as a tool, not furniture. A tool should be present when needed and absent when not. This basket is present when needed. When it's not, it disappears. Product 14. Toilet paper. Holder with shelf, adhesive or screw mount, stainless steel. The toilet paper holder is one of the most overlooked organization opportunities in any bathroom. Because it seems too small to matter, it isn't. The standard toilet paper holder holds one roll. When that roll runs out, the replacement comes from wherever toilet paper is stored: the cabinet under the sink, the closet across the bathroom, the gap shelf beside the toilet if you have one. The toilet paper holder with integrated shelf solves this without additional furniture. The holder mounts on the wall, adhesive or screw, 2 options, holds the active roll, and includes a shelf above that holds 2 to 3 additional rolls in plain sight. The shelf also holds a phone, a small plant, a candle, whatever belongs in the bathroom within arm's reach, without requiring a surface that doesn't exist. In Japanese bathrooms, every object has a designated location, visible and accessible from where it will be used. The toilet paper that runs out is replaced immediately, because the replacement is already there, on the shelf, 6 inches above the holder. 304 stainless steel means no rust in the humid bathroom environment. No rust means no replacement. No replacement means one installation decision made once and kept. Product 15. Large canvas, seasonal storage bags with dual zipper. 3-pack, and the last product, the one that solves the problem most homes don't realize they have until the solution arrives. Seasonal storage, the winter comforter in summer, the summer duvet in winter, the extra blankets, the sweaters that don't fit in the current season closet, the pillows for the guest room that isn't currently in guest mode. These items are bulky. They compress poorly. They don't fit in boxes. And in most homes, they exist in a state of semi-storage, piled on a shelf, draped over something, stuffed into a space that was intended for something else. The large canvas storage bags with dual zippers and triple carrying handles solve seasonal storage with a material that compresses with the item inside it. Fill the bag with the winter comforter. Zip it closed. The bag conforms to the shape of its contents and can be slid under a bed, placed on a high shelf, or stacked in a closet without taking the rigid fixed shape of a box. 3 sizes in the set handle 3 categories of seasonal storage: the large for comforters, the medium for sweaters and blankets, the small for accessories. Japanese storage philosophy applies kisetsu no junbi, seasonal preparation, to every closet. What is not in season is stored specifically, labeled clearly, and retrieved easily when its season returns. These bags are that system. 15 products, every single one available on Amazon, and every single one solving a problem that most homes have simply learned to live with. This is the Japanese approach to space, not the idea that you need a bigger home or fewer things or more discipline. The idea that the space you already have is enough, when the right system occupies it. The microwave stand that returned the counter, the entry bench that replaced 3 pieces of furniture, the slim cart that filled the gap beside the refrigerator, the oversing rack that returned the counter beside the sink. Space doesn't appear by accident. It is created, one intentional product at a time. All 15 links are in the description below. I've organized them in the order we covered them so you can find exactly what caught your eye. Tell me in the comments, which one are you getting first, and which room in your home needs it most? Subscribe, because every Wednesday and Saturday this channel finds more of what Japan figured out about living well. See you next week.